Hi, once again it's Steve Ninnes from Maintenance Experts. We actually make a few things such as MEX software, but today's topic is I want to talk about something which is it's probably one of my most favourite things to talk about, and that is actually a maintenance strategy. You know, what it is that dictates how you go about doing maintenance within your company. And over the years, I could say I've spoken to a lot of people about that, the maintenance strategy. You know, how we operate. Now, and so to start with, without saying anything else, I'm going to put up two different questions about things. The first one is this. And firstly, you know, my apologies for my writing, but also to, I was quiet there for a sec. How important do you think maintenance is to the company? Now, I'm assuming in many ways that you are actually a maintenance person. You work in a maintenance management, you're a fitter on the floor, you work in that field. But how important do we, as maintenance people, think maintenance is to the company? And if I was to say, we start at 1, which means not important at all, through to, let's say it's 5. 5 is really important. And you know, we'd say this is really important. Where do we think, you know, well, actually I'm asking you the question, where do you think maintenance fits into that? For me, I would say it's up here somewhere. I won't say it's 5, because I believe, you know, it's not the most important thing because your company is there to perform some function. And there's a lot of ancillary things that must come together to make the company function. And so I look at it and say, well, really, we are important because the thing is, without good maintenance, without maintenance being done properly, then really the whole place is going to fall to bits, just like any other component of your company. And so, with that in mind, and actually it's interesting here too, like how important, if say, look at your own companies, how important are the other departments in your company to the overall operation of it? A great comparison here, and I love talking about this one, is the accounting part. Okay, you've got an accounting department within your organisation. How important are they to the actual operation of the company? Really, and look at it in cold, like, you know, facts. They actually don't make anything, do they? They don't actually do the work that actually is the company's there for. They're important because you need them to make sure we've got money coming in. And I won't be derogatory, I'll just say, you know, accountants play a role within every operation, just like maintenance does. Now I'm going to switch that question around though. Just excuse me for a second for this. How important does a new way of looking at it is going, okay, how important does the company think maintenance is to the company? In other words, the rest of the operations, you know, the operations department, the manufacturing department, the chemists, whoever it may be, you know, the general manager, what is their attitude towards maintenance in your operation? And again, rated between 1 and 5, what would it be? Well, I hazard to guess, but I'm thinking that a lot of you would be sitting out there saying it's down here somewhere. If you're actually sitting there saying, hey, it's up here, that's really good. That's fantastic, because that means your company actually values what your department is doing. But, and I've spoken to, you know, hundreds of people about this particular subject. The vast majority say it's down here somewhere. And what I want to do is actually say, okay, why? Why do they think it's down here somewhere? Why don't they think this? Like, we say it's up there. Why do we think that, and why do they think that? Why are these people down here? Well, it's pretty simple, isn't it? Because you bastards in maintenance, all you do is you spend money. I mean, really and truly, what do you do of any worthwhile thing for this company? That's how it's viewed. It's not viewed as being something that actually is worthwhile. It's something they've got to have, an evil necessity. And hopefully I don't put you off maintenance altogether from this talk, but it's maintenance's fault that it ends up in that situation, and I'll get to that in a second as to how you can change it. Because that's the thing is, you want your company to start thinking like that, so you can all work together. But the thing is though, they just don't think that. I've heard so many stories and so many things about this over the years. A simple example is, I remember someone said to me once, they're the bastards in green who come out when it's all stuffed up and they fix the thing up. And then I asked them, I said, so what else do they do apart from that? And they go, we have no idea. None whatsoever. They were the dudes in green who basically, when something failed, it's like they crawled out of a hole. Like something from The Hobbit or something. They come out of the hole, they do their thing, and then they slither away and hide again. And I'm going to be honest, I actually just stood there and went, yep, that's what we end up with. That's how it's viewed. It's not viewed as being something that's important to the company. And the biggest issue is they have no idea what maintenance does. If you've watched some of my other talks that I've done about this, one of the ones is it's about maintenance itself. What is good maintenance? What is good preventative maintenance? And good preventative maintenance is really about doing nothing. Because what we're doing is we keep an eye on everything and make sure it's done before anything blows up, before anything goes wrong. So, in many ways, the best maintenance department in the world is silent. They come around, they do their thing, and they move on. And what happens? What's the end result is? Well, nothing blows up. That's what really good maintenance is. So therefore, they don't really understand what maintenance does. So, the money part of it, that's another part of the whole story is, maintenance does spend a lot of money. They can spend a crap load of money. And I hope you all realise, and I'm sure, if you've watched one of the other talks on this as well, if you do good maintenance, you can halve your costs. Maybe that's being a bit over the top, but I'm going to just stick to that anyhow. You can reduce your costs significantly from what they are. And I've seen some operations that run so badly, by doing good maintenance, you can reduce your costs. But that's what they view us. They view us as being, we're just going to spend money. By the way, just as a handy hint here on the whole thing, every department in your company, apart from the one that does the main job, which is either manufacturing or running a hotel or whatever, is spending money. We all do. Maintenance, they just don't see what value they're going to get out of it. So, anyway, stop talking about that. It comes down to, now we'll say, rightio, that's the view. Let's say, how can you change it? And really and truly, just look at, how can we change the way that they think, the way they feel about it? And if you look at all the things we just mentioned, I've just given you all the answers. I've given you, all the things such as they don't know what you do. All we do is spend money. They're never they don't provide a service. That's another huge part of this as well. So it's now about how we can make them change their view. Simple thing is, and let's start listing them out. Do you guys actually put together a maintenance program for the year? Okay, to say this is what you're going to do. Now, it could just be simple service schedule of everything that's going to happen. Do you actually present that to your operations area and say, hey, this is what we're going to be doing in the next 6 months, next year? If you're in the facility side of things, you can have a 10 or 20-year plan to involve, down to, when we're going to next repaint the building, when we're going to do the next refurbishment, when the carpets get done. And that can be extended years in advance. Now, from that plan, what do you get? Well, lots of things. For example, you're actually going to have an idea as to what your expense is going to be. But also, too, remember, that's going to be throwing expenses at the other parts of the company, and let's just say it's your manager of your site, whatever it may be. and he's actually going to see a list of things you're going to do. So there's actually something going to happen, rather than it just being an empty, and a bottomless pit where you keep spending money on maintenance. So it's really about, just presenting something to them. And I've done this a few times where just a simple schedule of what maintenance, is due to be done. And let me just say, I'm actually going to show you in one of these videos as well, and we'll go and find it right now. You can actually do that with our software, with MEX. Okay, you don't need MEX to do it. You can do it on a spreadsheet, you can do it on a piece of paper. But MEX will also do that sort of thing. That's a simple thing. The other thing is, think about what we do. Okay, if most maintenance people believe we are there to maintain the equipment, and I'm actually going to turn that and basically say, but that's not really what your company's after. Remember, they're your customers. What you have to do is provide service to them to say, this is what we're here to do for you guys. You're not there. The only reason why you're there is to serve that main function within that company. So it's about service. Now that could be through getting job requests done, having listed job requests, which I've spoken about in other videos. This is the plan. This is when your job's going to be done. Do you guys schedule downtime with operations, with production, with manufacturing? Do you say, okay, and I'm not talking about the once a year shutdown at Christmas time, because I've seen too many of those things go badly wrong. It's like saying, where do we share our plan with the other part of the company? And I'm sure some of you do, except at the last moment they change their mind and they go, sorry, we can't do that, we've got to work all weekend because we have to make this. Of course, this is going to happen. The thing is though, as long as they are truly, really and truly, they understand what's going on, and therefore they accept that if you don't do it, things could go bang. So it's really simple. It's actually really quite simple stuff, to look at the maintenance strategy that you have. And I'm talking, by the way, today's talk is just about the whole conceptual side of this, and I haven't gone into all the detail, but let's just write down a few of those things that we spoke about. And by the way, if you do notice a bit of noise in this video, it's actually because this is actually a working workshop. So the boys are actually walking around us and we're just, taking up space. What is it? Okay. The things that you can do. Okay, simple thing is, I'll say it's a PM program. I hope my writing's okay. Just a maintenance program. Now that's different because that may not just be PM. It's like a schedule saying these are the things which are coming up. This is what we're going to schedule in. Schedule outage. Oh, and a huge one, which I just forgot about, a huge one in relation to this as well, is what's the aim of the maintenance department? And I might actually talk about that another time, but I'll just mention it here. What are you trying to achieve? And are you and the company on the same page? And maybe I should have touched upon this earlier. It's basically, if your aim in maintenance is you want all your equipment that this company owns to be squeaky clean and look fantastic, then that's cool. But if the rest of the company just wants the gear to work and they don't give a stuff how you do it, they just want it to work, you are never going to see eye to eye. So it comes down to, I'll say it's a philosophy statement, and I have to, so philosophy, what's the philosophy of maintenance? And it's not just for maintenance to actually write it down, it's to actually get the rest of the company to talk about it. Now, at this point, I'm starting to feel like a consultant from one of the big 5 accounting firms, and that starts to scare me a bit, because what they'll do is they'll suggest, think tanks and groups and friggin' huggy and, crap. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about real nuts and bolts stuff. Where do you both want to get to? And make sure you're on the same page. That's all it comes down to. I mean, really and truly, we as maintenance people are there to serve the other part of the company. If they turn around and they say, what we want you to do is to fix up all the breakdowns, you go, sweet, we can do that. However, there's going to be this, and this is going to occur if that occurs. Because you think about it, there's a lot of money. You know, you're going to spend a lot more money. There's going to be a lot more chaos. There's going to be all the downtime. There's going to be all the problems, because that's what you guys in the company want us to do. And you can go, yeah, okay, we can do that. I think the other problem is too, you're going to have a real problem with staff, because if that's the attitude, then people won't last long. It's got to have some sort of philosophy as to say, we want to, you know, give you an uptime of this, whereas we want availability of plant to be this. We only want to lose 2 hours a week with downtime. We want to keep our costs to less than, you know, $8 million for the year. It's got to be, you know, a philosophy, then some goals as to what you're going to do. And I hope you're starting to see that all these little bits and pieces, even though they sound like not much, can start to add up together. And actually, I won't talk much more about this. I'm just going to say, I'll come to the biggest kicker of all. You can have the maintenance strategy you have. You work it out with your company. You work out, you know, you have your program, you have your plans, you have your budgets, you have lists of work, you have your philosophy. Then you've just got one job to do, and that is to sell it. Okay, you have to sell this plan, this strategy, this view to the whole company. Okay, you have to sell it. And I'm sorry, that's a really horrible thing, because you work in maintenance and you probably don't want to have to do that. Again, it's simple stuff. It comes about communicating that to everyone. Okay, again, I'm not going to get into the consulting type area, but it's basically saying, hey, have a philosophy, hey, have some goals, hey, have plans, have a schedule of work, have a budget set out, have, you know, the manpower requirements, you know, have the contractors needed to do certain things. Have that all together, but then you've got to sell it. Okay, maintenance is very good normally at doing the work we have to do, but we're not very good at presenting, saying this is what we're going to give to you. This is what you're going to get. And I might talk about that another time. This is just a brief look at the whole thing. And I think there's so many ways you can sell maintenance to the rest of the company. Now, on that note, I reckon, because it is a stinking hot afternoon here and I'm sweating so bad, I'm actually just going to call it quits on this tour. Thank you very much, and see you another time.